If you're scrolling and stressing, ask yourself, why are you worried about their highlight reel?
Exactly. If you want to use social media for the good, you need to listen to this episode.
Hi there. Welcome to another episode of Why You Worried About It. I'm Lindsay Bush with Country Crossroads Counseling.
And hey, everybody, I'm Susie Arbo. I'm a licensed professional counselor. Lindsay, we are on this journey to a better you, a better us, a better everything. And we couldn't be more happy, I guess, than to be on it with everybody else that's listening.
Yes, we've had so much fun. We've got so much good feedback. We've had people letting us know, like, "Hey, we listened to it on our way to work, or we've been doing the things you guys have said. It's really made a difference." It means a lot to us. We love to hear that. So if there's ever anything you guys want to hear, let us know. Reach out to us. We want to give you guys what you want to know about it, and we want help do it working through all these hard things too.
We definitely do. And part of Country Crossroads Counseling, too, our mission is to get the word out about mental health and just feeling better to as many people as we
Mm-hmm.
can, whether it's, through our social media, whether it's through our counseling sessions, whether it's through our speaking
Mm-hmm.
engagements, events, like we do so many things. And we try to talk to people and then also get relevant information that will help others. And today I'm kind of really excited actually about our
Yeah.
topic because it's so true.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that I think sometimes it's just what's going on with you today and what happened, and then it's like, more people need to talk about this. So I'm super excited. Susie brought it up. I was like, absolutely, this is going to be a good one. Yep.
That's right. So, we are talking about today social media and just this whole kind of situation, if you will, around comparison culture. And we all use social media.
Hmm.
We love social media for so many reasons. You know, it was meant for the good, right? To connect with people and to stay informed about things. And there's so many good things that you can use it for. However, our human brain literally, it is actually, when you look at all the studies and whatnot, we actually feel worse
Hmm.
when we're on social media than we ever do better. And the rates of depression and anxiety and stress actually go up when you're scrolling.
Hmm. Yeah, and I just got back from a conference. It was super cool. We had somebody talk to us about social media, and she was sharing some stats. And it was wild to me, just like the behind the scenes, the algorithms to a lot of the stuff that you don't even know about. That I didn't know, like the little faces that pop up, like whether you heart it or you like it or it's happy, sad, all those things. Actually, the things, if you think about anything in life, people talk about the negative stuff more than the positive things. The algorithm behind it is, if it's a mad face or a wow face or a shocked face, that algorithm is going to pop up more in your feed than anything else. And it's crazy. So definitely make sure that if you're ever feeling like you're getting a ton of negative things just popping up, because it's a real thing, go out there and purposefully find things that are meaningful and happy, and fill your feed back up with all those joyful things. Love them and like those kind of things. And you've got to really mess with your algorithm, because if you get caught going down that tunnel, it will let you, that it feeds off of that. The world knows that everybody likes to hear about the bad stuff, and that's just kind of what we do. And so you gotta be very cognizant and make sure that you're doing something about it.
hmm there was an article that was written, and it was all about even negative news,
Mhm.
like
Oh yeah.
like that those get more bids, like for these big time news stations, and so they always just kind of want to keep feeding off of the negative.
Yep.
And in our human brain, it's no secret that 80% of our thoughts on average are negative.
Mhm.
We have the 60,000 thoughts a day, and then 80% of those are negative. And then you add social media on top of that, and then you add, somebody may be sharing a terrible post about something, or even airing their own dirty laundry
Mhm.
about somebody else or about some political standpoint and stuff. And you can go down that rabbit hole. And then you even look at our politicians. If you read the comments,
Oh, yeah,
it is
it's rough.
wild. Just the people just go and they just are,
Yeah.
you call them keyboard warriors.
Oh yeah.
And
People love to hide behind it. There's a meme out there. I wish we could get it and link it or something, but there's two dogs and there's a fence in between them. They can't see each other, and they're just barking, 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 barking back and forth at each other. And they open the fence, they can see each other, and they like stop. They go silent, and then the fence closes again, and they start barking, 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 barking. And it's because they literally, that was their, they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Like, now I can see it. So it's so true. If you can hide behind a screen and you don't have to actually deal with real human emotion and people's feelings and energies, it's so easy to not care, and it's scary, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, it absolutely is. And the other thing too, I think that happens so many times, just especially with social media, is that people will, sometimes like just portray a certain look that they want the world to have of them, that they
Mhm.
have this perfect life and this perfect kind of family and all these things that are just going so well, and they don't necessarily let you in on like the heartbreak or the hard stuff
Mhm.
or the sad stuff or the bad stuff. And I remember years ago, I remember hearing from somebody, and then I saw on social media something just very almost kind of like different, like portrayed like
Mhm.
everything was just like so perfect. And I think we're all guilty of just
Sure.
putting the good up there sometimes, but also I think it's very real of us too sometimes to be vulnerable and to make the post maybe that we're sad because we're grieving something maybe,
Mhm.
or we're going through a hard time with something and we need some prayers or something. Like I think there's a nice balance that you can
Yeah.
do just to be real.
Yeah. And I don't think it's necessarily healthy if you need therapy and you need to talk to somebody. Maybe putting it on Facebook's not the way to go about it. There's probably healthier ways. I think people like to justify things. So, like, if you're mad, I see that people are like 9 times out of 10, they go to Facebook because they want to like complain
Hmm.
or they're negative. Everything is nasty and they want everybody to jump on behind them and be like, you're right. You're right. Like you need that validation in your thoughts and your feelings. And I think there's a certain part of that that's okay, but at the same time, why are you doing it? What's the purpose behind it? Are you trying to fix the problem? I know Susie always preaches that we're solution focused. So if there's things that you're putting out there that need something to be like fixed or helped, like what's a positive way to spin that instead of just maybe dragging down a local business or restaurant because they
Hmm.
messed up your order? Like what are we really getting from that? I don't know. I don't love to see all that nasty negative stuff.
Yeah. Yep. And it's easy for people just to kind of jump to that as like their outlet or their place to vent or whatnot. And we see that like on the community forums sometimes. And so remember too that you in your control, things you should worry about is your impact on the world. And so like you can support things, you can support people, you can be kind, you can be real, but also positive, and that makes a big difference. I also think it's so interesting, Lindsay, how sometimes isn't it wild how you can scroll through your feed and how quickly your moods can change?
Oh yeah.
Like literally, like you can be so happy and be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, and I love reading about this. And then the next minute you go downhill because
Mhm.
you read something sad or tragic. And then the next minute you're like up again, or then all of a sudden you're anxious because they're talking about the economy and the government shutdown and things like, I mean, it's a roller coaster. And our human brains are not fit and they're not even supposed to handle all of the information overload that we get as humans.
Mhm.
Like we have constantly things flowing through us and on our phones, on our devices, and it's just nonstop for our brains.
Mhm.
And to me, that is something we should worry about.
Absolutely. Yeah, being aware of what and how much time. I know I talked about it before. One of our big trigger things when a lot of stuff was happening in the world there not too long ago, it was hard for me. I know I'm on Facebook a lot. I love Facebook. I love being able to catch up with friends and kiddos that I don't get to see and things like that. But it was really affecting me and my anxiety because I have anxiety all the time. And one of the best things they said, Susie's like, turn your notifications off. Like, stop every time you see that notification on your phone, having to look at it. Like, I turned my notifications off, and I promise you guys it's been life changing. I look at my phone now when I think about looking at my phone, not when it's reminded me to look at it or to look at that Facebook or whatever. There are days where I can go all the way through the day and I'm like, oh gosh, I haven't even been on Facebook today. Like, and I'm like, oh, I want to hop on and check it out and stuff. And I feel like I miss out on a lot of those crazy things that probably wouldn't have even bogged me down or I never would have even got stuck watching because I just don't give it the energy. And I'm able to focus on things that actually matter and are in front of me and tangible. And I love it. I'm never going to give it up. I love social media, but just that small little step of literally all I did was go to my settings, turn off the notifications, and it has been life changing.
Yep, I love that tip. That's a huge, huge, huge tip. Another tip that we think is really important is to point out like what is a highlight reel versus what is like real life, if you will. We might see this really cute mom that's like in a kitchen baking up a storm and like talking about all these things and how she has all these tips and tricks for like, keeping the perfect thing and baking the perfect food, whatever. But we don't see, the other side of things like her kitchen probably doesn't always look like that, but we just see this little baby glimpse of like her perfection in her world. And so I think sometimes we just compare ourselves to like what we see on the highlight reel and not the actual behind the scenes, like how we all live, at any given moment, if somebody came into our house, there's going to be a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you have kids, there's going to be toys. If you've got, if you're living, there's going to be dishes and laundry and all of that. And so just kind of always being real, like you're just seeing a baby Snapchat of that,
A little bit. Yep.
Yep. So always remember that you're just seeing like their best 5 minutes that they prepared for that reel, and not always the whole 24-hour picture. Like it's normal in life to have stuff. Like that is all kind of what we do.
It makes me think of Dude Perfect. Susie probably hasn't heard of her. They're a funny group, hilarious, but they do like crazy shots. Like they will shoot a basketball in a football stadium and make it like 75 yards away, and it's crazy, right? Like these little moments, and you're like, holy cow, how did they throw a frisbee across a football field and make it? Like stuff like this. But then if you actually look and find the bloopers, they shot those trying to do that, sometimes days trying to get these shots, and like you don't see all of that behind the scenes stuff. And that's what makes me think about it. Like everybody, they're going to put out what they want you to see. It is very curated. It's very methodical a lot of times. And then sometimes all the way to the opposite side, sometimes people are putting everything out there, and they like the victim, like like those kind of things too. And that can bring you down too. So just being aware of that. Like sometimes you don't need to tell everybody everything. It's okay to keep a few things to yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think sometimes too, another kind of takeaway from this podcast, if you will, is to kind of watch your own, we talk a lot about your internal battery, and some things can really deplete that battery, because maybe you're feeling like you're always behind. Like you see people that are like thriving and succeeding, and then you think, well, I'm not doing that, right? Like I wanted to start a podcast and I'm not doing that. Or, you know what? I wanted to go to the gym and be fit, and I'm not doing that. But this girl over here, she's posting nonstop about her gym days and whatnot. So I think kind of not feeling like enough, or maybe even, and we both are victim to this, we've done this many, many times, is feeling left out of things.
Oh, yeah.
Like you see people post something and you have no idea why they had this party or this get together. And then also it's like, well, I'm friends with her. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It is hard. There's a lot to that, and it's what you feed in your mind too. Like, what are you thinking about? What are you adding to it? Like maybe looking at it and being like, oh my gosh, how fun for them. Like, I'm glad they got to do that, instead of, well, they didn't ask me to go or whatever. Like stop creating all these narrate in your mind, and you create all these stories that you sometimes don't even know. Most of the time we don't know.
Yeah. We never know what somebody else is thinking or feeling. And it probably is nothing personal. Nothing ever anybody does is usually because of you. It's usually because of their own stuff. Definitely always changing your mindset when you are on social media, to try to use it for the good. And I think that's our biggest takeaway for this, is that yes, it is negative. However, use it for the good and limit your time on it. Set some boundaries, follow things that bring you joy or that you can learn from, educational things. I know people can learn a lot off of it. You can connect with a lot of people. Keep that in mind. And if you feel a certain type of way on it, make sure you get off of it, or, log out, or whatever you need to do.
Yeah. It's okay to step away. You don't have to know everything. And trust me, it'll be there when you come back. It's not going anywhere.
Yep, exactly. And then just for the comparison part of it, just remember too that somebody else's success, be happy for them, celebrate them. That's amazing. And you are on your own journey and you have control over that. And that is something that you should, when we talk about worried about, not worried about on the show, you can put your own energy into yourself and keep improving yourself and making your own life the way that you want it to be.
Yeah. So, turn it into inspiration. Don't let that comparison drag you down.
Yep. Exactly. So those are kind of our key takeaways for today. And I know it's something that is something we don't like focus on a lot, is how social media impacts our mental health and the comparison culture, but it does. And so just being aware of it is the first step of any kind of change that we make for the better. And that's what we're on, is just changing for the better, living our best lives, and thinking about things that we should worry about, shouldn't worry about.
Yep. I love it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching us. Thank you, Susie, for always giving us all of her knowledge. I love it. If you ever want to hear anything specific, please reach out. We love to hear from you. Follow us on Facebook. It is Country Crossroads Counseling, and our website also countrycrossroadscounseling.com.